Today I'm going to be showing you how to make earrings using slide tubes. Now those are slide tubes I got off of Amazon from Panda Hall. You're going to need those, and you're going to need some jewelry working tools and a little container to put your pieces that you clip off. Also, you're going to need ribbon. That's right, we're going to make these earrings out of ribbon, and that's the rhinestone studded ribbon. And I got those at Hobby Lobby. You can get them at any craft store. You're also going to need earring hooks. These are the ones I picked up, but you can use any ones that you prefer. So I went ahead and pulled out my ribbon. Now, the first thing I want to do is determine what size slide tube you're going to use. Now, I'm going to go with the more a smaller one. What I like about that box is they give you a variety of different sizes, and I've chosen this one. Now you've got to determine what length you want your earrings. So just keep playing with it till you decide how long or how short you want them. Okay, so I went ahead and cut them, and that's how long I'm going to make my pair. Now when you cut these, you cut them between the rhinestones as a mesh. You want to cut on the line of the mesh. And then you'll trim up the excess later, but that's the length I decided on. And you just go ahead and lay your slide tube and see. Now I went ahead and slid this in the slide tube. Now one end will be open and the other end will be closed, and you've got to stick your little rhinestones in. First slide it, then push them in with a tool. You can use your round nose pliers. You might have to pry it open a little bit and then take whatever jewelry tool you prefer and kind of squeeze it and just shove them in there. It won't close all the way, but you can make them as tight and neat as possible, like I did with these. See? Now you're going to squeeze just a little to close the opening, but keep in mind there are other rhinestones underneath. So that's what it should look like when you're all done. Okay? And that's how long I decided to keep it. And once you're satisfied with the way it looks, and you played with it and made sure it's all trimmed up, because there's little pieces on the side, and that's what it's going to look like when it's all trimmed up, neat, and ready. Now, the next thing you want to do is make sure they're secure. So this is the other pair, the other one I made, the matching pair. Now you see how that end's open? Well, you're going to take your pliers, whichever ones you feel more comfortable, your chain nose, or I like the curved one, and close it gently. Gently. You don't close it all the way because you can't really do that. So now you're going to press on the table or a hard surface to flatten it and finish closing it. And just keep doing it very gently until you are confident that it's closed just enough, like I just did. Okay? So now when you're happy with the way everything looks, it should look like that. Okay, and it's very easy to do. You just take the slide tube, slide your ribbon in, make sure everything's inside. Now you're going to put your fish hooks on. I chose these, and again, you could choose any type you want. Now be very mindful of how you're putting them on. See, the back should be facing the front. So when you're putting your earring hooks in, you want them to go the right way because you want them to sit the right way on you. So you want to take the earring fish hook and you want to face the part that goes through your ear facing the back of your ribbon. See, that's the back, and you're going to make sure the pointy thing that goes through your ear faces the back, and you want the back of your earring hook, see, facing the front of your earring, so that when you put it in, your earrings will be facing the right way. It's very easy to make that mistake. You're busy crafting, you're not paying attention, but be very mindful of putting it in the correct way. Okay? So that's what you're going to do with your earrings. Now, I've gone ahead and attached my earring hooks, and that's how it's going to look. And your little pieces, you could either discard them or save them for some kind of craft. You never know, they can come in handy. So this is what they look like. Now, they're a little bent right over here from where the ribbon was folded around the spool, but that's okay because you can play with it a little bit, and you can also get heavy items such as a book or something soft and lay it flat on it to keep it flat. And that should take care of the problem. I've already worn them and the crease is gone now. Okay, now we're going to make a matching choker. Now you can measure it, put it around. Mine is about 12, 13 inches, maybe longer, because you don't need it too long because you're going to have the ends. Now, I'm not using a slide tube on these. I'm going to be using my little crimp ends for chokers that you use for ribbons. They're different. They have like little claws or little teeth in them. Okay? So you're going to position everything, get your ribbon out, get your scissors, and now this is what they look like. They're little teeth. They come with the chain on one end, and on the other end it has a clasp. Now, I only have the gold ones. I think I have one pair of silver, but I'm saving that for another project. I could always change these out later. Now, you see, they may be a little smaller. You can get them wider, but I'm just using what I have. But these are the perfect things that you use for chokers. They're little claw crimpers, and they're flat, not round like the tube sliders that I use to make the earrings. So what you're going to do is position it in the end. Now, I'm just cutting my choker because I don't want it too long because I got to hook the crimp ends to it. And it comes with the chain so you can make it tighter or looser. So if you're making these to give as a gift or sell and you're not sure what size people are, different necks, and you know, people have different size necks depending on their weight. So this is good to have those little crimpers with the chain. So now you're going to put this on the end right in the center. Now, of course, if you need a wider one, they do make wider ones. I'm just working with what I have, but this should be a good size because keep in mind they do have different size crimpers, as well as the same ribbon I have comes in a big wide one and a smaller one. So now I'm taking my flat working tools, I don't know the exact name, but pick the one that feels more comfortable, and I just pinch and smash down. Make sure it's super flat so those teeth are crunching in there. Go ahead, just keep smashing it down nice and tight. And make sure everything's flat. And then give it a good move it around. Make sure it's positioned just so. Just like that. And then go ahead and give it another squeeze. Just to make sure that it's really good and tight and it won't come loose. Okay, so now that you're sure, that's what it should look like. Center it, pull it a little, make sure that it's secure. Now we're going to do the other end. The other end has the clasp attached to it, okay? And you're going to put that facing. Now keep in mind, be very mindful of which way you're facing the clasp, because you've got to wrap it around your neck, and then you want to be able to have the clasp facing where it's easy for you to latch it on to the other side, which has the chain. Now the chain is pretty long on the other side, and you could either make that shorter, or I would leave that because there's a little decorative end on it, and it's great if you want it tighter or looser. And it's great to have those chains because when you're making them to sell or give as gifts, it keeps the option open for people with different size necks. Okay, so now you went ahead and did the other end and made it sure that it was nice and clamped in there. And that's what it's going to look like. My matching choker, nice and tight, and my earrings, which I still have to flatten, but I just finished it. So we can get that little bend out of it with no problem. Now keep in mind they do make wider ribbon. This same ribbon that I got at Hobby Lobby with the rhinestones, they had it in like, I believe like a 2-3 inch, and they also have smaller than that. So if you'd like it wider. Okay, so now that I finished with this choker, you can use these same crimps, the crimp ends for ribbons on your choker just like that. And they do come in different colors. I just happen to have the gold, but they have silver, which would be best if you're doing this rhinestone look. But like I said, I only had one pair and I'm saving it. So, but this will do. No one's going to see the back of my neck. So that's what it's going to look like when all is said and done for your matching choker. Now we're going to make a matching bracelet. So this is your earrings and choker all finished. Here's the bracelet. Now you want to take a piece of the ribbon before you cut it. And I have a small wrist, so I want to make sure that I have enough, but not too much, because again, you're going to have the crimp ends, and it's going to have the chain. Now I'm going to cut just enough because in the event that this is too long, I could always clip the excess, whereas if you make it too short, you can't make it longer. So better safe than sorry. Now you get your little crimp ends. Again, they come in different sizes and different colors. And they have like these little teeth in it opposed to the slide tube. Now you can very well use the slide tube. You'd have to take both and put them on each end. And just like with the earrings, they have a little hoop on the top where I had affixed the earring hook. You can affix a chain or a couple of jump rings, and then on the other side you can affix your clasp with a jump ring, and you can close it the same way. But I'm gonna go ahead and just use my crimps. The crimp ends are made for ribbons. They have the teeth. It's a lot easier. Now you could even use these crimp ends for the earrings instead of the slide tubes, by the way. But the slide tubes are rounded and make a neater look for earrings. So that's why I chose that. Okay, so again, you can cut this chain if it's too long, or you can leave it. I would leave it. And so you're going to put the one end and making sure that it's centered. Get your tool ready. I like the flat pliers because it just smashes them really nicely. It just fits in there good. So there I go. I do the one end first. That's how I do it, from the side. And once you get a good grip on your ribbon, then you go ahead and just keep going till you smash that all down. And when you know that that's pressed and really good and tight, keep going. And make sure you get from end to end in the middle, and then tug it a little. And just keep going till it's nice and secure. Just make sure that it's totally flattened. So tug it, make sure it's not going anywhere. Now you want to do the other end. Now again, keep, just like with the choker, keep mindful of which way your clasp is facing, because putting bracelets on can be difficult enough if you're doing it by yourself. You want to make sure that the clasp will be facing the proper way. See? There you go. Now I have a small wrist, so I might have to make this tighter, but I have that chain that gives me an option. But at this point, if you go in and you find that it's too big, you can still take the crimp clasp off, but that's what it's going to look like. And there's my matching set: earrings, choker, and bracelet. There we go. Like I said again, they do have wider ribbon of this same exact rhinestone ribbon in a wider and also even thinner, like half that size. So there you go. Again, I should have used the silver crimped clasp on my bracelet and choker. So that's it for this project. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.